Can you believe it's been 8 years since the Nintendo Switch originally released back in March 3rd of 2017? It is crazy how fast time flies, and to think at this point in time 8 years ago, we were all diving into the world of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the very first time on our brand new Nintendo Switch hardware. It's crazy seeing that transition from the Wii U to the Switch, considering the fact that most of my middle school and high school years were spent playing the Wii and the Wii U, which is crazy to see where we are now already getting ready for the Switch 2. But I figured there'd be no better way to celebrate the Switch's 8th anniversary in the last month before we move on to Switch 2 goodness than to look back at the top 10 greatest Switch 1 moments. These moments to me were the biggest and best parts of the Nintendo Switch. But before we get into all of that Switch 1 goodness, it's time for another hype question of the day for Switch 2. The hype question of the day comes from Germ Tech Gaming and states, if you could pick 5 characters for a new Smash Bros. Game roster, who would they be? Okay, so here's my 5, don't judge me. Starting off at my number 5, it would probably be Crash Bandicoot. He's a third-party character that definitely is more than deserving to get in. Number 4, I'd say Shantae. Actually being new to the series, I really think she would be a magnificent character to shapeshift to different animals with all her attacks. I feel like she would be extremely unique as this like shape-shifting genie. Number 3, Waluigi. He is a main Mario character that definitely needs to be included. He could represent the entire Mario Party and Mario Sports franchises with tons of wacky sports equipment and stuff. Number 2, a Fortnite rep. No, I'm not joking. Like a Jonesy or something I think would be awesome. I'm a huge Fortnite fan if you didn't know, and I think being able to have the ability to build would be a crazy mechanic, kind of like Steve, and actually use different weapons as well as part of your main, move set would be awesome. And who doesn't love Fortnite, or at least haven't loved Fortnite in the past? It's one of the biggest games of our generation. And number 1, Paper Mario. A lot of people love to hate on this one, but he would have a completely new and unique original moveset based on the Paper Mario games, being able to fold and transform himself into different things like a paper airplane, or even being able to use his past partners in order to help him when he fights would be so good. My honorable mentions would definitely be Rayman or Geno making the cut. 31 days left. We'll be doing this until Switch 2 drops, so if you want to have a question for Switch 2 for me, comment the word hype followed by your question and you could be featured in the next video. Coming in at number 10 for the biggest Switch 1 moments, I chose the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pass DLC. This came around February of 2022, in the very beginning of the year's Direct, and we were not expecting this because it's already been 8 years since Mario Kart 8 originally came out on the Wii U, so we were all expecting a new Mario Kart to maybe even close off the Switch or get ready to, hype up the next Switch, which we do know it's coming now for Switch 2. But this was definitely a kind of blast in the face, but it was a good/bad thing to happen because we still were getting 48 tracks returning from past Mario Kart games. This was 8 years after Mario Kart had already released on the Wii U, and 5 years after coming out again on the Nintendo Switch in its deluxe form. So I can't believe it took this long, but we finally got more tracks. They might not be in the graphics that people wanted or anything like that, but you can't lie, 2 years straight of a total of 6 waves of Mario Kart tracks and additional characters added to the game was just amazing. I feel like this was done in order to help us wait for the Switch 2 Mario Kart game just because it was taking a little longer than expected, but either way, this was definitely a surprise, and I feel like a real big revival for a lot of people to jump back into Mario Kart 8. It definitely was for me and my friends. Number 9, the Mario 35th celebration. I remember 2020 was extremely rough, and Nintendo wasn't having any general directs. It was nothing but mini partner showcases, and we were sitting, waiting, wondering if Nintendo was going to reveal anything new or have any major Nintendo directs. Around the summer of 2020, we started to hear rumors of some type of 3D Mario collection pack, and it actually came out to be true. It may not have been as ambitious or had the changes that we were hoping for, but we still got the classic 3D Mario games with Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and even Mario Galaxy on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, Nintendo kind of skimped us on Mario Galaxy 2, but still, it was really cool to have these games, plus tons of others announced in this same presentation. It was like a Mario Direct of a sorts, and we actually got tons of things like Mario 3D World, plus a Bowser's Fury add-on to that game, and even Mario 35, which was like a Mario Battle Royale, featuring classic 2D Mario. And it was really, really cool to have all these things announced in one show, and finally to give us something to talk about, since 2020 was very barren for the most part outside of Animal Crossing. We're sticking with Mario for number 8, the return of 2D Mario. Yes, 2D Mario finally returns after being pretty much silent the entirety of the Switch lifecycle, only giving us New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. You know how we feel about New Super Mario Bros. U, especially by this time, so seeing something like Super Mario Bros. Wonder was stellar. Finally breaking the tradition of the New Super Mario Bros. Franchise, we have a new art style, brand new world with the Flower Kingdom, new playable characters including Daisy, and brand new power-ups like the Elephant Apple, and of course the wacky Wonder Flower that would shake up the entire terrain. This reveal was so important for us Mario fans because it showed that finally 2D Mario could break free from its stupid shell of being basic and boring and actually gave us worlds that felt lively, new enemies, new characters. It was really great. But number 7 was one of my personal favorite reveals of the entire Switch lifecycle, which was a 3D Kirby game finally. Yes, we got the reveal of Kirby in the Forgotten Land, and I still think it's one of the best games on the entire console. But this reveal was pretty huge because it's the first time ever that we would see Kirby move around in a 3D plane. It was something that I've been asking for so long and probably just one of my biggest dreams come true. And I realized for a lot of people it probably was too, to finally be able to have a new genre for Kirby instead of just traditional 2D games, especially how much Kirby Star Allies actually let me down for being extremely bland. But this game was the complete opposite of bland. I mean, we could see that from the very beginning, where it not only was the first time for Kirby to be in 3D, but they went ambitious with it, giving us a completely new world with a new antagonist, tons of new enemies, new power-ups and copy abilities. It was just like, how in the world did HAL go so hard with this first outing for 3D Kirby? I mean, they could have kept it extremely basic, keeping us on Planet Popstar and just giving us a basic 2D Kirby game just slipped into 3D, but nope, they went above and beyond and gave us things that I couldn't even imagine 3D Kirby would go for its first debut. But this game was such a surprise for a lot of us, and it was an awesome addition to Nintendo Switch. Coming in at number 6, Pikmin 4 is real. Dude, I remember being so excited to start Pikmin for the first time back on the Wii U when Pikmin 3 would come out. I went back and played Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 1, and I was so excited to wait, and I had to play Hey Pikmin as I was still waiting for Pikmin 4 because all the rumors and all the insiders were saying it was coming, and years would go by, and years would go by, and years would go by, and even Nintendo had confirmed in the past that Pikmin 4 was in development, but we never saw it until eventually finally seeing the game in 2022. It was real. Pikmin 4 is a thing, and out of all games in the series, it takes inspiration from Pikmin 2, which was actually my personal favorite, which made me even more excited. It was like a spiritual successor to Pikmin 2, and almost like a Pikmin 2 direct sequel, almost forgetting what happened in 3. But finally seeing Pikmin back was such a big sigh of relief, considering the fact as well that it did as well as it did, and honestly helped boost the franchise a lot more than where it was previously. I'm glad to say that Pikmin is on a really good track to have a really great Pikmin 5 or whatever they want to do in the future. But I was just so excited to finally see that this game was real. It was no more just gossip. It was no more just talking about this game supposedly supposed to happen. It actually happened. And now we enter the final 5. And at number 5, we have the Metroid galore. Yeah, Metroid fans ate pretty good, kind of, because some of the stuff announced still hasn't happened yet, but still, imagine one of the first Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Directs, and we get revealed Metroid Prime 4 is coming to Nintendo Switch, man. This was like a crazy what? I remember the whole world being stunned. This is a franchise that started on the GameCube and ended on the Wii, and seeing it make a return for a 4th game all these years later was stunning. Now, of course, it had to go through development, rehaul, pretty much restarting development from the ground up. Thankfully, we now actually have gameplay of the game, and it should be releasing sometime this year, but still, it was such an exciting reveal. Just one of the multiple big reveals we would get for Metroid, considering the fact that, yeah, we would also get the announcement of Metroid Dread years later. Finally giving us Metroid 5. We've been waiting for so long to get Metroid 5. It's been 19 years since the last original 2D Metroid in the story, being Metroid Fusion, and Metroid Dread was actually a game that was planned back then, and it just never came into reality because of the graphical limitations at the time, and Nintendo wasn't able to do what they wanted to do, but finally they were able to with the Nintendo Switch, and this game did not disappoint. Seeing Metroid Dread as a real game was just one of the more jarring, crazy things that's happened in the Nintendo Switch lifecycle. Now for number 4, maybe my bias pushed this a little higher than it should have been over Metroid, but still, this was just crazy. And I'm putting all of the Mario RPG goodness that we've gotten on Nintendo Switch. Goodness gracious, I don't think I've ever lost my voice as much as I have through the series of just Mario RPGs being announced for Nintendo Switch. Showing off Mario RPG was coming back all the way from the Super Nintendo. One of people's favorite RPGs from Nintendo ever is actually making a return. Not only that, but the one that actually made me literally bust the sound barrier in the world, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I never thought in a million years I'd see this actually happen, not to mention it would be fully remade from the ground up. Seeing that intro of the book opening up is just something of nostalgia that I will never ever forget. It is one of the greatest video game moments I have ever had on this planet, man, and the excitement that echoed around the world. I mean, sorry, just listen. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm gonna like, seriously, I can die happy. I can die happy. Mario! No way! No! Oh my god! No. I swear to God. Oh my God in heaven. And literally in the span of like a year and a half, all this is happening. And literally they end with Mario and Luigi making a return. After the developers Alpha Dream went bankrupt, everybody thought this series was just pretty much toast. It was over, you know, like Mario Rabbids is here too. It's gonna replace it. Nope, Mario and Luigi is still here. I don't care how many people don't like this game. This is still a really great game. And I was so excited to finally see Mario and Luigi return, and for the first time ever on a home console, Nintendo. Oh my gosh, the Mario RPGs cooked on Switch. But number 3, the Smash Bros. Reveals was another one that had everyone sitting by the computer, gathered around to see what next character was going to make it to the roster. These were some great moments, and the fact that this lasted as long as it did, multiple years, with 2 different passes of characters being revealed, Sakurai really did spoil us. And I know even myself, I got a little spoiled and carried away, really expecting certain characters and just seeing some of the characters. Looking back, I'm just so grateful that we were able to get what we got, because man, Nintendo really cooked and Sakurai really cooked. He pulled from some of the deepest, darkest trenches to get characters that our hearts dreamt about. I mean, before we even get into the character reveals, remember the Everyone is Here reveal, letting us know that every single past Smash character would be returning? I mean, this was such an incredible feat. That was great and all, but yeah, those DLC character reveals, come on. Remember the Joker reveal at the Game Awards that surprised everyone? No one thought this was even a Smash trailer. I just thought it was a Persona 5 update, but nope. Joker would be coming to Smash Ultimate, and so would most of the Dragon Quest heroes. I mean, come on. The Jiggy bouncing across the floor just to reveal Banjo-Kazooie in the same funny way that they revealed K. Rool was such a genius idea to have all the rare characters together. This was like one of those moments in gaming history that's just imprinted in the Gaming Hall of Fame, dude. The voices around the world could be heard for Banjo. Freaking Minecraft Steve, probably my favorite character in the game now, was just like a what? Like, this felt like a mod showcase of someone just playing around. This was an official trailer of Minecraft Steve making it into Smash Brothers. Minecraft being one of the biggest video game franchises of all time, it just made so much sense, but we never thought Sakurai would actually be able to pull something like this off. And he did. What about the Sephiroth reveal, now joining Cloud in Smash Bros? Or Kazuya finally giving us a Tekken rep, chucking characters off of a cliff? And look, I've never played Kingdom Hearts a day in my life, and personally wouldn't even been a character that I would care for or even want to be in the game, but man, did I recognize how powerful this character was. There was possibly no better way to end the Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC packs than to have Sora finally make it into Smash Bros. The fact that Sakurai pulled this one off showed me that his influential power was beyond anything that we ever thought it was. For him to get a Disney character like this was crazy. It felt like a super sweet ending to years of excitement with DLC characters, probably the best way to cap off a video game roster of all time. Sakurai, you are a legend. So what could top that? What are the top 2 spots? Well, one I had to choose because it was just too important. Number 2, Animal Crossing New Horizons. This game is such an important game from Nintendo, and probably one of the biggest, most successful, most smartest decisions to release Animal Crossing when they did, even though they didn't, plan this unless Nintendo can see the future like Shulk. But anyways, yes, Animal Crossing New Horizons came at the perfect time. At the very start of the COVID year of 2020, when there was an outbreak all over the world, and we were all bundled up inside, waiting to see what Nintendo was going to do, there was one game that we had to play that took over the internet, and that was Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm somebody who never was a huge Animal Crossing fan, and even playing this one, it didn't stick longer than about 10 to 15 hours, but still, I remember sitting and playing this game late at night and having the experience of a lifetime. I mean, literally, I was just walking around digging, finding insects, and building a couple things, but still, it was just so much fun, and it was just like embedded nostalgia in me of that year. I don't know why, but it was just like such a hard year for so many of us, and this game was there to help get us through that year. I mean, seriously, I remember seeing so many people post their cities and towns, and like literally non-Nintendo fans going out buying Switches to have this game to play during the quarantine, people putting in thousands and thousands of hours into their islands. It was just such a beautiful thing to see around the world, and it just made everyone happy, everyone smile through one of the darkest times that we've had, and it was just great. Animal Crossing was already a pretty significant franchise for Nintendo, but New Horizons put Animal Crossing on the top. I mean, it is one of the best-selling games on Nintendo Switch today, which is just crazy to even think about. Animal Crossing New Horizons came in and it did its job. But for me, number one is kind of cheating, but I'm talking about just the reveals itself of the Nintendo Switch, including that 2017 Nintendo Switch presentation. Man, I have never been so hyped for something in my entire life. To sit there on the precipice of not only a new console, not only a new open world Zelda game, but also a brand new open 3D sandbox Mario game in the same year was something out of an absolute dream. I don't think we'll ever see a lineup matchup quite as good as this one. A new 3D Mario and a new 3D Zelda in the same year, just months apart. Never again. I'm sorry. I mean, how do you get better than that? The Switch reveal was perfect. It was just concise. It showed us exactly what the Switch was, taking it on the go, playing it at home, but also showing glimpses of games like whatever this 3D Mario game was going to be, and also Splatoon 2 making a comeback. And it was just like, oh my gosh, there was so much happening at once. My mind was being filled. But that 2017 presentation showed us even more. It showed us Mario running around in Super Mario Odyssey, running around a realistic New Donk City, which was based off of New York, showing us Splatoon 2, the new IP of ARMS, Xenoblade making a return once again for its third game, but the second game in the trilogy being Xenoblade 2. Like, what more could you ask for? And yes, even Mario Kart was a thing, even though it was like a weird thing. It was like, hey, it's coming out, but there was like no real coverage, and then it just came out. Yeah, it was strange, but hey, Mario Kart 8 is here in a deluxe form. But there was just so much love and effort poured into that presentation, and finally seeing all these Nintendo reps on stage like the good old days of E3, if you guys are old enough to remember. Oh my gosh, just actually having people go on stage and talk about the games and actually have some fun dressing up and wearing Mario's hat, and it's just stuff like that that just made me excited to be a Nintendo fan. And it was Nintendo still not feeling super corporate yet. It was feeling like they were really caring about this console and that they were doing everything that they could to get us hype. And, having Mario travel around the world as a mascot form to, kind of hype up Super Mario Odyssey before its release, landing in New York for the final day, having a big New York celebration. 2017 was a year to remember for Nintendo Switch, and it started off with an absolute bang. So yes, my number one will be the Nintendo Switch reveal plus that 2017 Nintendo Switch presentation. It was just too good, and man, it gets me so excited for Nintendo Switch 2 with the Switch 2 Direct happening in just about 30 days. I cannot wait. Let me know in the comments down below, what was your favorite Nintendo Switch reveal? And what was your favorite Nintendo Switch moment? Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.